You're asking questions of people and getting them talking about themselves, they really remember that.
Yeah. And you brought up an interesting point, and I'm just going to relate it back to body language. When you go into a networking facility, is your head kind of slightly cocked down where you're not really making eye-to-eye contact? Are your shoulders pulled back like you're at attention and you're alert, or are they kind of drooped forward? Mm-hmm. Where are your hands? Do you walk with a little bit of a bounce in your step? Like you're having a good time, like you're enjoying life? Like you really want to be there? All these little things are front and center on the people you're communicating with. Mm-hmm. They're receiving all this input. Mm-hmm. And while they may not consciously absorb it at the moment, subconsciously it's boom, it's right there in front of them. And sometimes we get that little thing, okay, I need to get out of here. I'm not comfortable, not exactly sure why. And all of a sudden, oh, I got to go see somebody over here.
What is the best way to exit a conversation, though? Because, that can get uncomfortable. If you're in the middle of a conversation with someone, you realize that they're maybe dominating, and you really know that you're there networking. You don't want to stay too long in a conversation. It depends on the event, of course. But what would be one of the best ways to exit instead of just saying you got to go talk to somebody else? Should you wait until you end the conversation after you speaking or after they do?
It would be me, on that side of it. One of the things I like to do as a tactic, if I'm talking to somebody and I'm looking for something else, if somebody else walks by I know, I'll grab them, I'll put out my hand on their shoulder and say, do you know? And whatever their name is.
Idea.
And that, you two need to have a conversation.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And I walk away looking like a good connector, even though I was just trying to bail on a conversation, right. And hopefully nobody's recording this.
And that's another tip for those that are networking new.
Yes.
Try not to dominate too much. Do understand that you're there to meet and mingle with a lot of people. So, and don't try to sell them. Don't try to just keep handing cards out. I normally do not hand a card out to anybody unless they ask.
Yeah, don't card bomb, don't flyer bomb, because nobody cares. So, nobody really cares.
Don't give them a flyer unless you're talking with them and then they ask you and they say, oh, that would be really interesting. I'd love to know more. Well, I happen to have a flyer here. Would you want one? To take a look at it, and then you can go look at more online. Don't say, oh, here, sign up right now. I'm taking, you have to really be careful with how you do all that. So, yeah, definitely, and making sure you're shaking hands. When I was teaching networking, I always taught people to wear their name badges on their right side instead of the left side, because you're shaking hands with your right, so you're kind of looking across. There's so many neat networking tips that we are all taught in networking classes, but I think today's conversation, how we just really focus on the relationships, is so important. And we're getting ready to end, but I wanted to end one more passage from the Jeffrey Gitomer Little Black Book of Connections. He says, connecting is all about your friendliness, your ability to engage, and your willingness to give value first. When you combine those three attributes, you will have uncovered the secret of powerful connections that lead to rich relationships. So really remember, no matter where you are when you're talking to people, your focus should be on just really having a conversation and building a relationship and seeing where that can go. And not all relationships will end in lots of great profits or business, but you don't know where that relationship can end.
You don't know where it's going to end, and you don't know who they know.
I know.
And those are two humongous variables that we must consider in networking, because you need to look at networking as a business practice, just like accounting, just like making phone calls, just like anything else. You've got to build the relationship and let it flourish naturally.
That's right. And I will make on our Social Radio Show page, we have these books listed for you so that you can look at these references and definitely take your networking to a new level build those relationships, give that value to those that you meet. But with that, we are down to the last few seconds, Richard. So I want to just tell everyone, make sure you join us every Wednesday at 12 noon on talknetworkradio.com. Listen to the So Social Radio Show and make sure you have more fun
and more profits.